Welcome to Gyproc, Brakpan factory. Gyproc is part of Saint-Gobain's gypsum activity. Saint-Gobain Construction Products is a world leader in the supply of gypsum-based products, serving growing markets for building systems in over 76 countries worldwide. On our site, safety comes first, and there is no tolerance for safety offenders. The Saint-Gobain Group has developed a number of shared principles of conduct that have guided the group's activities over the years. Adherence to these principles is a requirement for belonging to the Saint-Gobain Group. If you are a visitor or a contractor entering our site, please ensure you have filled in the register at security. This will ensure that you are accounted for in the event of an emergency. Please declare any equipment or tools at security prior to entering the site. All employees, visitors and contractors will be subjected to alcohol testing, and if you are found to test positive for alcohol, you will be denied access to the site. Induction training is required for everyone entering the site and is valid for a 1-year period. You will be required to write a test, and upon passing this test, you will be issued with an induction card, which must be on you at all times while on site. If found that you are not in possession of such a card, you will be required to leave the premises. Your name, company, ID number as well as the date of the test is shown on the card. In the event of an emergency, please refer to the back of your induction card. At Brakpan factory, we employ strict quality, environmental, and safety standards, and are ISO 9001, ISO 14001 and ISO 45001 certified. The plant is run in a world-class manufacturing manner by using the pillar system, which attacks all our losses and turns them into savings. Every day, everyone at Saint-Gobain is actively committed to pursuing the objectives of the company's SHEC policy through the implementation of the EHS Charter. In summary, Gyproc management is committed to the following: innovative programs to safeguard communities, employees, contractors, and the environment. Committed to achieve high standards of environmental care. Ensure that proper organization structures are in place for the management of health, safety, environmental, quality issues, and legal compliance. Establishing competence and awareness for all its employees. At Brakpan factory, we manufacture over 75 different products, with our site divided into 10 workshops. Rock offloading is where the raw gypsum rock is received from road trucks and offloaded. The gypsum is then transferred by conveyor belts into the homogenizer, where the material is mixed to get a more consistent product. The material is then transferred to the calcination plant, where it goes through a mill in order to remove any free moisture, and then to a conical kettle, where it is finally calcined. The stucco produced is then stored in silos, from where it is transferred to be used in either the cove or board plants. Some of the board products are used at the tile line, where we laminate and cut board for suspended ceilings. The waste gypsum board from the process is recycled back into our system at our state-of-the-art recycling facility. On site, we have a laboratory where the quality of the process is controlled. The warehouse is divided into a raw material or paper warehouse and a finished goods warehouse, where we service internal as well as external customers. The engineering workshop caters for the maintenance requirements of all workshops on the premises. The Saint-Gobain Research and Development Department is also situated on Gyproc premises. General safety rules and regulations. On our site, distraction due to mobile phones is a risk. We ask that you please do not walk and talk or text. Please take your call in a safe zone, where you are not at risk from moving machinery and vehicles. Eating or drinking in the plant is prohibited. Please use the designated eating areas, such as the canteen and the blue room. Please give priority to vehicles when on site, and always make eye contact with the driver when approaching a vehicle. Always ensure that walkways are utilized at all times. When ascending or descending stairs, always make use of the handrail. Due to the inherent nature of the factory activities, certain personal protective equipment, or PPE for short, is mandatory when entering the factory. The following PPE is mandatory when entering the factory: a hard hat, high visibility clothing, and safety shoes. Additional PPE, such as hearing protection, eye protection, and/or dust masks, may be required in designated areas, as indicated by mandatory PPE signs. Visitors or contractors entering the site are required to always be accompanied by Gyproc representatives. No work may be conducted by visitors or contractors at any given stage without authorization. Fire extinguishers are situated at strategic points. They are indicated by the fire extinguisher signage on the walls and walkways. No one is permitted to utilize these fire extinguishers for any purpose other than fire prevention. Only personnel that are trained in firefighting and emergency equipment are allowed to use them. For hot work activities, please refer to our maintenance stores for dedicated fire extinguishers. All safety signage must be adhered to. No firearms are allowed on site. No person may enter the site if they are under the influence of, or in possession of, any intoxicating liquor or drugs. Please be aware that taking any photos without the plant manager's permission is strictly forbidden. Do not tamper with first aid or firefighting equipment. Do not work without authority, or perform duties which you are not trained for. Do not indulge in horseplay, fighting, or insults. For emergency purposes, reverse parking is enforced on our site. No personal vehicles are permitted inside the factory yard, unless authorized by the plant manager. A permit must be issued by the Gyproc Brakpan host prior to entry, and dedicated parking must be shown by security personnel. Ensure that chock blocks are inserted at the front and back of the wheels of parked vehicles. When climbing onto trucks during loading or offloading, always ensure that you make use of the mobile stepladder, as well as the fall arresters provided. Due to the high risk of fire, smoking is not allowed in or around the factory, but only at the designated smoking areas on site. All tools are to be inspected prior to commencement of a job, and any time during such a job. Any work being conducted with substandard equipment will be stopped immediately. Procedures. The emergency siren is tested every Tuesday at 10 a.m. for 30 seconds. In the case of any emergency, please activate the alarm on our SCADA systems. Please make your way to the closest emergency assembly point immediately and in a controlled manner. There are 3 assembly points on site, with the main assembly point located at the sports field. Roll call will then be taken, and the search and rescue teams dispatched for any unaccounted people. Please remain at the assembly point until you are told to leave. All incidents are to be reported to your supervisor, Gyproc representative, or EHS representative immediately. All safe and unsafe acts, as well as unsafe conditions, must be recorded on EHS reporting systems through the OSA, iCare card, and SMAT system. It is very important to know that under no circumstances are you allowed to work on any running or moving machinery unless it has been made safe by using lockout and tagout and verified that no energy is present. A permit to work must be conducted for the following work activities: hot work, working at heights and roof work, machinery maintenance, working on live or moving equipment, confined space work, certain electrical work, where isolation and lockout is required, excavations and demolition work, contractor work, and any task deemed as high risk. Each permit to work must be accompanied by a detailed task-specific risk assessment and method statement, and must be approved by the designated permit issuer. All personnel involved with the activity must be trained in the permit to work requirements and risk assessment prior to the work starting. The permit issuer and permit holder must, prior to work commencing, ensure that all control measures identified are implemented prior to work commencing, and that the risks have been communicated to the permit users. After the work is completed, the permit issuer must ensure that all has been returned to normal, and area cleaned, prior to signing off the permit to work. No contractors are allowed to conduct any work on Gyproc Brakpan premises without an approved SHE file. A detailed health and safety management file must be submitted to the SHE department for vetting and approval. Only after the contractor receives an approval letter may work commence. Contractors will be evaluated for performance upon completion of work. All new employees are required to conduct an entrance medical prior to the commencement of work. Thereafter, all personnel must undergo their annual medical fitness assessments. Environmental. Most of our waste is recycled at various licensed recycling facilities. Please take note of our color-coded waste bins that we have adopted for recycling purposes, and ensure you dispose your waste in the correct bin. All hazardous substances used on the premises have been identified, and material safety data sheets or MSDSs must be provided and displayed at the areas where it is used. Contractors must receive approval from the SHE department for any chemicals being brought onto site. All spillages should be reported to the Gyproc supervisor or representative immediately. Spill kits are provided at various points across the factory. Care should be taken to ensure that spillages do not go down the drains, as this can contaminate our rivers. Saint-Gobain has committed to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050. The Saint-Gobain Group has set 2030 mid-term objectives to ensure we meet our 2050 target. By 2030, we aim to reduce Scope 1 and 2 by 33% by implementing energy reduction projects, and Scope 3 by 16% through our supply chain. We also aim to achieve the following: reduce water withdrawal by 50%, zero water discharge in areas with extreme high water risk, reduce non-production waste by 80%, avoid the use of virgin raw material by 30%, and utilize 100% recyclable packaging on all our products. We also aim to achieve a 100% life cycle assessment on all products. When on site, please switch off all lights and equipment when not in use, and when you leave the offices or meeting rooms. Ensure that taps are tightly closed, and report any water leaks to your Saint-Gobain host or supervisor. We are counting on you to help us achieve our environmental objectives. Golden Rules. Please familiarize yourself with the 9 golden rules followed on this site. If you are unsure of something, or regard it as unsafe, then stop. Think. Ask someone. Only then act or proceed. Please, let us all work together to keep Gyproc Brakpan factory a safe and healthy environment to work in. Thank you for watching the induction video. Please have an incident-free day.